Hello, RedBear773 here, and welcome to my first Lionel update video, layout update. It's kind of silly for me to do this now. I mean, I've already put out a bunch of Lionel stuff, but there has been a bunch of stuff that's changed in this room. So I figured I'd show you. Well, maybe not so much, but at least you're not just watching the trains go around right now. Anyway, the first thing I'd like to show, and probably the biggest change, is something that you only saw if you looked at my first-person view video, and then you didn't really see the whole thing, and that's this bridge right here. Let's see. I made this from scratch out in the workshop from some old hardwood floorboards that I found down in the cellar, and it came out pretty good. Put O&W on it for whatever reason, but I wish in hindsight now that I made those cross struts of the trusses 1/4 inch instead of half. I just did everything. I ripped the boards down to 1/2 inch sticks. I kind of wish I did that in 1/4 inch because it's kind of fat, but it wasn't too easy making those strips, so you know. Anyway, oh, and also my dyslexia got the better of me. I cut all sorts of notches. I don't know if you can really see it too well, but in the tops of the trusses sides to put the top cross struts across the top. But the problem is, as you can see, it's offset because it's at an angle. But when I put it together out in the shop and was cutting the struts and stuff, I had the offset completely backwards. You know, like this front piece off to the right 6.5 inches instead of the left. And so because of that, some of these cross struts are in notches and some of them aren't. It's all messed up, but you know, once it's painted and everything, and if you don't really look at it with a microscope, you can barely tell anyway. It's okay. Anyway, that's probably the biggest update. And then I don't know if I really showed off the mountain too well. I made it out of pink styrofoam board and just painted it gray. I used a drywall saw there to cut the edges to try to make it look like a rock face. And you know, it's not really all that great, but it's something. It's what I had. I don't really have much money to spend on this, so it's what I had a lot of, so I made it. Oh, and I got this. That's the prototype bridge side that I made out of the pink stuff, trying to figure out all the math and angles and stuff for the real thing. That's a Think Coal bumper sticker from the old M&NJ Railroad when I was working there. Harold, he was my boss. He was great. He gave me one of those bumper stickers. It's pretty cool. They were actually thinking of, back in the 70s, they were going to switch to using a steam engine during the oil crisis, and they would have done it too. They bought the steam engine, they had it for a long time, but unfortunately they lost 2 customers the same year that they picked up the steam engine, so the project just never got off the ground. You know, it just sat, thankfully, inside in a shop for, you know, 70 to 30 some odd years when they sold it around the time that I started working there. But now it's getting rebuilt down in Western Maryland Scenic Railroad. They're rebuilding it for something else, for Everett Railroad, I think. I don't remember, that was a while ago. But anyway, yeah, that's the story of that. And yeah, there's the mountain. There's my tunnel. Goes through the other room. And what else is in this room? There's the 602 that I got running finally. And now, with this area, I was trying to decide what to do with this. As you can see, I don't have the train parked on the siding right here. I had my passenger train parked here. But right now it's empty because I'm not going to leave that siding there. What I'm going to do, and it's kind of ambitious, I'm not sure how well it's going to work out, but I want to do it, is I want to try to make a turntable here. Now, it's not going to be as long as that straight piece is going across now. Well, one end will be, but you know. about like that. But probably like that. As you can see, the pen line, I hope you can see that there's a circle. I want to cut that out. I need a jigsaw still, but I got to cut that out and make a pit like for a turntable. And then I'm still working out the details with how I'm going to make it, but I've got some ideas. But anyway, I want to put a turntable there and then have, I'm figuring maybe 4 tracks, you know, in a fan shape coming out from the turntable. I'm not going to try to build a roundhouse. There's just not enough room. It's just going to be an open 4 flat tracks. Probably each track 2 straight sections in length, and that's how long that turntable is going to be too. I know it seems really small, but everything on my table is pretty small. I mean, this stuff is all 0.27. You know, these curves here is, this loop is 0.27 with just a half straight in between, and that, you know, barely fits on the table. But you know, all my stuff is all old post-war Lionel type stuff, so it'll fit on that. So yeah, that's gonna fan out over there, and then this track that I got the little pre-war stuff on, that obviously can't stay there either. But yeah, I'm still in the planning mode with this, trying to figure out what to do with it. But I would like a turntable. That would be nice, because I like the idea of being able to have all my locomotives on tracks instead of just sitting on the table like these two are. I mean, if I could have them all sitting on little tracks with switches to turn them on and off, that would be pretty awesome. And of course, this is the blue lady, the Avon blue lady. She's always around. I can think she's going to stay there now. Okay, let's go into the other room. Alright, this room really hasn't changed much at all. No, very minor changes, if anything, as long as you guys have seen this rock face before, I'm sure. That's the pink stuff again. That really doesn't look good because I didn't even have any room to really try to build it out, so it's just like a flat cliff face or something, but whatever, it's something. It covers up the mirror a bit at least. Let's see, I wish I had more banana mats to cover up that dresser table. And yeah, not a whole lot has changed in here, except this little bridge, the little Erie bridge. Yeah, that's always been there, but it was too small width-wise. I mean, some of my locomotives fit over it and some of them didn't. It was really easy for them to bang onto the sides, and it wasn't really attached down. Well, yeah, it was screwed down, but it was never in quite the right place, and it was just annoying me. So I just took it out to the shop and took the table saw and split it down the middle and cut out the middle and then widened it out. So now everything fits over it. And see, not much has changed in the yard, except right here, this front track where I got the passenger train parked now, that is going to be its new home. It just barely fits on there. But I still have to isolate that track. I've got it sitting in neutral there, but I still have to put a plastic pin in there and a switch and isolate it off. And so everything just barely fits. That's a manual switch so that I don't have any issues with the non-derailment stuff. And you know, it works. I'm always sitting right here anyway. And then another new addition I have, and this is pretty awesome, is the 1656 switcher. Now give me a second and I'm going to show that to you. Alright, this is my new 1656 switcher. Well, new to me, of course. It was made in, I think, 1948, something like that. Post-war, but before 1950, in that era. And it's a really nice little switcher, and it's very heavy. And so even though it's little and it's just got those 2 little wheels, this thing pulls a lot. This thing will pull damn near 3 of my freight trains, my 4 or 5 car freight trains. Well, it does now. When I first got it, it didn't really run, and I had it all apart, and I got the E unit working, and I got it running pretty good. Well, it's running really good now. The unit's a little bit sluggish, but it works. It just takes a little while for it to switch. But it does work really good. The only problem is it's missing the drawbar underneath. So I can't hook it up to the tender, but it's got a coupler on the front. So if you just run it backwards, I was actually doing that a lot to switch stuff around. It runs good. And there's the tender for it. Now, first glance, it looks like the right tender, and if you pick it up, it's heavy enough. It feels like the right tender. It's very heavy. Now, it's got the right metal shell and everything. It's got the wires sticking out. It's got the right trucks, the right coupler. But then if you turn it upside down, you can tell something's very, very off. First of all, the bottom's silver instead of black. Second of all, you don't see that big bell protruding from the bottom like you're supposed to. And third off, you see a very modern looking toggle switch right there. I don't know if you can see that. This isn't really focusing too well. But that's what that is. It's like a modern toggle switch. And if you take it apart, it's full of circuit boards. There's one circuit board on the frame of the tender, and then there's another one up inside the shell. And apparently it's set up, there's another toggle switch inside too, but it's set up to have like this a little electric bell, ding ding ding, but it's electric. It's like a digital bell, and it's pretty annoying. It's like a little electric alarm clock. And but that's off, and it doesn't really work correctly, like with activating and whatnot. It kind of works, but then if you switch one of the switches or both, I'm not really sure how it works, but you can make it so that the bell button that's supposed to activate the bell instead opens that coil coupler, which I found very interesting. But because of that, you know, people are going to be hitting the bell button all the time and messing with the coupler. So now this coupler, I was testing it a bit, you know, just pulling it manually, pulling some cars manually and stuff. It doesn't really stay closed too well, because I think that coupler is probably kind of worn out from people hitting the button and it activating, because it's not supposed to work that way. It's just not. And I don't know if it has the regular, yeah, it does have the regular pickup shoe for the coupler also, but it's just really weird. It's some kind of homemade kit bash thing, and it's very strange, but I still like it. It's still the right shell, of course, and you know, someday maybe I'll find the correct tender with a messed up shell and swap out the shell or something like that. That light does work, which is nice. It's like a little, one of those little like a bulb from those street lights. It's like a little street light, like somebody just took the bulb and wire from the street light and poked it up through there. But it works. Just need the drawbar so I can hook it all up. But, yeah, overall I'm very happy with it. I got it for a very reasonable deal. And let's see what else. I think that's probably about it. Let's take a look around. Yeah, everything else is about the same. Got my air conditioner in finally. That was not easy, because you can see that's the gap I had to work with crawling around underneath the table and popping up back there. Yeah, that was fun. But anyway, I think that's about it, and I'll see you guys maybe with some other running videos later on.